All right, welcome everybody to Let's Create. And we are creating a bit of a time warp right now, I guess, because sometimes technologies change, and it's fun to just get used to change, change. Like the rate of change is going on right now in the tech world. Anyway, always good to be here. My name is Dan Roeder, and I'm the Chief Academic Officer for the David Z Foundation. I'm actually here at the Spokane Public Library, where just in the other room, here, I'll show you, because why not? So we were just mixing an album of student work. This is creative. And there's Andy. Yep, there we go. So we were just mixing some work, and that's why I'm still here at the library. Right now I'm in the studio that people have access to using just with their library card, but it's a very creative environment. The spirit of the show is about creativity, and this first segment that we have is creativity in the classroom. So first I want to introduce our other hosts, Donna and Brian. Let me pass the mic to Brian, and then Donna, if you can introduce our special guest after that. So Brian, welcome. We're here.
Hey, thanks, Dan. To everyone watching either live or on the replay, in the tech space myself and digital marketing, but I always have had the passion for music, trumpet player since middle school, marched at UMass, and so this time of year is always a fun one, gearing up for the school year.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. My daughter actually marched for Boise State and played trumpet as well. She still plays trumpet actually in a local band. So go
Amazing.
Trumpets.
Is that Big Blue Turf?
That's right.
Yeah, my daughter Maria is at marching band right now too.
Oh, there you go. Marching band connection.
Trumpet.
So my name's Donna Guerin, and I'm founder of Global Lighthouse Studios. We connect teachers and students around the world through the lens of music and the arts. And we are joined today by a special educator and friend of mine who also works with Global Lighthouse, and her name is Jenny Henry. So Jenny, if you want to just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little about your teaching life, your experience.
Sure. My name's Jenny Henry. I am currently a 6th grade teacher at Remsel. It is an expeditionary learning outbound school in Denver, Colorado. Like Donna said, I've known her for years and years and had the privilege to be part of Global Lighthouse Studio. Also, a lot of the workshops and collaborations that Donna has so graciously invited me to be part of and sharing with people around the world. So I'm thrilled to be here today for the teacher feature.
Amazing. Yeah. So I have a few questions that I like to ask. And first one is really, how do you use creativity in the classroom? Pretty wide open.
Well, I'm just a few days a year. No, I think it's obviously a foundation of everything, and it's what makes a classroom exciting, but also really helps value the whole child and allowing lots of opportunities for kids to demonstrate their thinking, their personalities, their hopes, dreams, wishes for the world, and be able to share that in unique ways. So, some of the things I think is just allowing opportunities to collaborate with experts in fields that I am not necessarily the expert. So bringing in you guys, bringing in keeping the blues alive and allowing kids to explore new passions and interests. I think that sparks a lot of that creativity and opportunities for new pathways that they may not have. I think allowing a lot of student voice and choice and creating individualized projects and curriculum where kids really truly get to evaluate themselves and their strengths and steps and how they can take their values and their strengths out into the world and link it to real world passions or opportunities that may present themselves. And then just allowing a creative space that honors a growth mindset and individuality and recognizing who kids are and people are and the humans in our space and celebrating those unique differences and talents and preferences so that everybody feels like they're in a safe environment to learn and explore.
My goodness, that was just a jam-packed answer and so brilliant. It really got me thinking about, that you said it is reaching the whole child. And I think that is how education is really changing. So I just had one thought, and then I wanted to pass it to Brian and Donna if you had any questions for Jenny on creativity in the classroom and just how we can make any learning space more creative. But what I was just thinking about was so often we are become kind of tethered to the curriculum and the pacing guides as teachers, and we're like, we have to get through this by Christmas break, or this by this, for this standard for state testing, da 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 da. And so we are kind of moving through this regiment, but so often if we don't have students engaged, and that's what kind of every idea you shared was kind of hovering around, is that full engagement of like, yes, I want to be here, I want to be heard. They're not going to do great on state testing because things aren't sinking in. There's are not, they're not caring about it too much. That's one of the things that I hear a lot in education, is just like, how can I get my students to care? So yeah, Donna, Brian, any questions for Jenny about creativity?
Well, I was going to say that I know Jenny leads her classroom with empathy, so she can speak all day long about that, because I've had the pleasure to work with her over the years, and I know that she creates little change makers in her classroom. Doesn't matter what grade level she's teaching, and so she's being quite modest, but she's actually very creative, and also very big on tech, and also she just has a big heart, and she leads with her heart. So maybe like your favorite lesson that you can remember that involved creativity, like that you can think of.
I mean, it's impossible. It's impossible to pick one. I think my favorite moments, though, are obviously any learning experience that can be authentic, that is authentic to the child and their passions and interests, but also authentic to what they are producing really matters. And I think that that's where sometimes we have to just kind of trust that it's going to reveal itself and what that's going to look like. And there is no canned curriculum or script for that. No set of state standards is going to teach a teacher how to inspire kids. But I think knowing your students and taking the time to get them and get down and get dirty with them and explore and allow yourself to not be an expert is what allows those opportunities to happen. I've had amazing moments where one of my all-time favorite experiences was a student who was passionate about dolphins, and there's a lot of books on dolphins. It's really hard to live in a state and build an authentic learning experience for a kid who's passionate about dolphins. But we somehow did. And we partnered with the aquarium in Clearwater, and she researched a ton of stuff about Hope the dolphin, who lost her tail, and all of their work that they were doing there. And she ended up becoming very concerned about what happens to the dolphins and how do they get fed if there's a hurricane. And through all of her work and research, what she ended up designing was an automatic food feeder for the dolphins. And she was able to design it and then have a Zoom call and share it, and get feedback from all of their biologists on what would be good for the dolphins, the color choices and the materials, and what would be safe. And you name it, back and forth through a whole bunch of collaboration and authentic partnership with experts in the field. And she was able to get that immediate feedback from them, continue to revise and refine her work. And they ultimately invited her to come out and visit the aquarium. And she did a fundraiser and helped raise money. And she was able to purchase some toys for the dolphins and some enrichment. And so just seeing how something as interesting as I love dolphins can develop into such a powerful learning experience and link so many of those important standards that we need kids to be able to work with and grow and apply in authentic situations.
I think you just really nailed it, Jenny. Like that's the formula for 21st century learning. And I think that's where I've seen it. I've experienced myself, like kind of getting lost in the murky murk of designing and differentiating for each student, which is such important work. But that's because at the time I was thinking, oh my goodness, I have, like 32 kids in my class. I have to make 32 variations of a lesson. No, we have to create a culture in the classroom where students are empowered to make their own variation and to start with what you just said, like, I love dolphins. And then you can help coach them on how to connect that love of dolphins to whatever the standard is. And it's, the standards alignment and managing that's our job as teachers. But our job is not to necessarily create 32 different lessons. That's madness, because then we would have to attend to 32 different lessons and we'd have to find ways to objectively measure the growth. But creating systems in a classroom that starts with that student, and building from their inside out, and that connection. You said it all so well, Jenny. So thank you. Brian, I feel like your face says you want to ask something or say something.
Yeah, I think where society is heading and how it relates to education is different perspectives in providing students with different opportunities. I had a volunteer op last year, and the facilitator said a student came up to her and said, "I've never seen this before. This is an ache. This is a pine cone." So, I guess my question for you, Jenny, is how has tech helped give different perspective for students to maybe see things in a new light that maybe wasn't possible 10 years because it was relying on just a textbook?
Well, we get to be obviously much more responsive and immediate in that collaboration. I think that's awesome. I think it's just empowering to have different tools that allow kids the opportunity to express themselves in different ways and create different products, where before it was maybe more limiting in how kids could demonstrate that understanding and communicate. But I really think the power is about connecting people and those kind of experiences. And we can do that now anywhere around the world, which
Yeah.
when there were certainly, we maybe got to see something if it was live on TV and they wheeled the TV into the room at the exact same right time, the live, right? Like we didn't have that freedom and flexibility to be able to connect so immediately and so worldwide. And I just think that's been immensely helpful to inspiring kids and connecting them and making learning matter.
Cool. Thanks.
That is the call to action. 3 words: make learning matter. Like, somebody quote that, tweet that, X that, post it. Make learning matter by Jenny. And that is just like needs to be a t-shirt too. I was also remembering like that video cart, and then sometimes the teacher's frustration when like, I forgot to rewind it. Only had these VHS tapes and everything. Anyway, Jenny, I want to be respectful of your time, but I wanted to see if you have another 30 seconds and we can play a little game. Are you up for that?
I'm up for a game.
All right, let's do it. All right. So Donna, if you wouldn't mind opening up that presentation and sharing your screen. So this is, I guess it's becoming maybe an obsession of mine, but I really like this game that I used to teach in the classroom called Slideshow Roulette. And so that's going to be just like that's the primer. That one doesn't count. But what you're going to do is let's have Brian come up with a random family safe, school appropriate topic. And so Brian, if you want to think about that. And then Jenny, your job is going to be to give a 30-second presentation on the topic Brian comes up with. And you have to incorporate 5 slides. Now, here's the thing. Donna's going to be driving the slides, and you don't know quite when that's going to be. So teachers out there, or anybody in a business coaching program or anything like that, this game is meant to make low stakes practice public speaking. So we're kind of taking that fear out of being in front of people, saying things. Because Jenny, there's no way you could possibly, know what's coming up with this a random subject and these 5 slides that my 14-year-old daughter picked. So we're going to give you the honor of going first, and then Brian, Donna, we can all do a round as well. And Jenny, whenever you have to go, feel free to go. But I wanted to give you the guest of honor spot. So do you have any questions? Do you understand how it works?
I think so. I'll give it a go.
All right, Brian, what is the topic for Jenny?
Students' first concert.
Students' first concert. Wow, I love it. All right. So Jenny, your topic is students' first concert. Donna, you can give Jenny a signal to go when the 30-second timer is started, and then go to the first slide.
All right, here we go. I'm going to go to the first slide. And whoop.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Nope. Redo.
Nope.
Sorry, the next.
There, this one?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Timer starts now.
So you definitely cannot imagine as far back to when I first attended a concert. You would droop with sadness if you realized my first concert. I can't even see that picture.
It's a cat in a tank.
Was what?
It's a cat in a cardboard tank.
Was as cute and cuddly as the Tiffany concert. Might think I'm a nerd. Glasses, because I really was chomping on my bubble gum as a teeny popper in the 80s, and as influential as rock.
Okay, that's
Thank you. Nice
fine.
job, Jenny.
Wow.
That was incredible. All right. All right, who wants to go next?
I will let Brian go next.
Brian,
Isn't
go
that
for
so
it.
nice
All right,
of me
Brian.
to let Brian go next?
Here's your topic, Brian. Your topic is advice you would give to a raccoon.
Advice you would give
Advice
to...
you would give to a raccoon.
Okay.
There
This
better
is
be a picture of a raccoon.
Okay,
All right.
hold on. All right, here we go. All right. Ready? Go.
Well, advice for a raccoon is you don't always have to travel in packs, whether it be finding food or rummaging through trash barrels. And you can work it too. In addition to that, I have no clue what that is.
Oh, another one bites the dust.
Oh, okay. But in closing, just be a raccoon how you want to be a raccoon.
All right.
I love it. Well done, Brian. All right, I'll go next.
All right.
And then Donna, you're gonna have to drive your own slideshow. Sorry.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much,
thank
Jenny.
you so much, Jenny.
Thanks, Jenny.
Bye, Jenny.
Bye.
You're a good sport. Thank you.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's keep rocking this.
Okay. All right, here we go. So
Wait. What, Donna? What's my topic?
Oh, what's the topic? The topic is things you would need on a desert island.
Okay, got it.
Again, I have no idea what these slides are. Okay, here we go. Ready?
I don't either.
All right, things you need on a desert island.
Imagine that this is you. Let's back up 10 minutes before that happened. So this is you landing on a deserted island, and you realize all you really need to survive is a cardboard tube, but somebody's always watching in the bushes. Somebody's gonna take that cardboard tube and have meals with cockroaches because they, the island wasn't deserted after all. So there's food and scene.
All right.
How did I do?
You did pretty well. You did almost to the second, a little over, but some of it was the delay on the slideshow. So very good.
All right,
Very
your turn,
nicely
Donna.
done.
You get to drive your own slides, but you still don't know what's coming up.
Oh gosh, yes. Okay, so what's my topic?
Brian, what's her topic?
Italian food.
Oh,
Italian food.
Italian food. I like it. Okay. I mean, I do like Italian food. I don't know what's awaiting me here, but okay. All right, here we go. So I was cooking Italian food and the cat wanted to eat some of the spaghetti. So I had to put the cat in a sock. And then the cat escaped from the sock and ran into the bathroom and got some toilet paper and started destroying it. And suddenly, as I was cooking the spaghetti, a duck on a skateboard randomly came into my kitchen. And so I had to call in resources for help. And so I called my friend to help me with the spaghetti pot. And at the end, we had a dinner show, and this was our first performer. And that is my spaghetti dinner.
That was pro level, Donna. Oh my goodness. I have to have a conversation with my daughter. Yeah, this is fun. I think there's still like 25 more pictures in case other people came. But yeah, so I want to kind of get back to just talking about, yeah, there we go. Just talking about this particular show, and the teacher feature is something that we started last week. And Brian, a little background in this, Brian and I talked about doing something like this, what, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Where we're talking about creating in real time. And so that's where we're slowly, massaging this into something that the outcome we want to be something that we create together. And so just in bringing out in a couple of teachers already, I'm thinking it could be as easy as somebody comes in and teaches a skill, because originally Brian and I were talking about writing a song in real time, which is still definitely a segment that I want on the show. We're just having some tricky scheduling issues with some of our artist team, and but I think we have something here that we're just coming together on beginning of the week to celebrate creativity and learning together. So I think, Brian, what do you think about kind of, and this is private conversation in public, about kind of expanding in this direction where maybe we can have either a segment on songwriting, and that's my passion. Obviously, I'm in a studio right now. That's what I do for work. I do a lot of work with Donna on a daily basis during the school year. But I think there's so much more in the arts that we can explore together and just teach skills. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, because of this explosion of tools, I think a lot of people are saying, well, I can create this or I can launch a YouTube channel. But then they get to the point of like, great, we set up all the tools. Now what? Now I have to come up with an idea, just like we did with the slideshow roulette.
Right.
So I think it's exercising that creativity muscle that's saying, oh, now I know what to write. Or now I can use a tool like ChatGPT and get some concepts and then pick the one that's I'm most passionate about.
Right. No, I love that. I think we're definitely we always seem to be on the same wavelength. Donna, what are your thoughts about, if we kind of expand things out a little bit, and we can have this teacher feature where we're talking about creativity in the classroom, but maybe that teacher then teaches something or does an activity or leads something, because I think that's, Brian, you kind of nailed it, that there are all these tools, but we can always say, oh, I'll learn how to do that tomorrow. Oh, I'll just like animate that short, or like I'll just like generate that music or that artwork or whatever. And so we keep getting these lists of things to do, but we actually haven't gotten any more time.
Right.
And I personally think that time spent together with other humans is time always well spent, So if we can even kind of slog through some things together, and that might be, just a different angle on a tutorial, like a low stakes practice of here's how to learn a new skill follow your curiosity. So I think let's have that call to action be right now. If anybody, if that pings for anybody, like if there is a skill that you're just dying to teach people, whether it's origami or pottery, singing, playing an instrument, whittling a wooden cat out of an oak tree. I don't know. Or like making pasta noodles with a family of cats, like Donna. I think that would be really cool to kind of expand this into. I think we'll always, somehow have music involved, but I'm really excited about that idea. So,
And especially, Dan, I think, real quick, you have to start somewhere. You're not going to be Picasso the first week you learn to do art. And it's the same thing with these tech tools. You're not going to create a YouTube channel that reaches what Mr. Beast reaches the first month or a year. So you have to put that foundation down. So I create football content, and after 2 years, I came up with this concept of this bracket of videos that I'm going to do.
Nice. Wait, so that's like a tournament bracket, or?
Yeah, so I'm basically going to put out a quick snippet of a video, and the engagement will drive how the teams do. So it's basically which team has the most buzz leading into the 2024 season in New England.
That is so specific and so interesting. Like, yeah, that's awesome. Well, I think that you hit on something else too, that since there are so many tools as teachers, and this I still try and fight myself from doing this, is shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
So I just had, I've been having a couple of weeks where the same message has been given to me by a lot of different people. And, it's do less things better, so there's so much that we can do. The possibilities are endless, and I think Alex Damsker, the way she said it really hit me the most, and I'm still processing it and still just excited about it, because she said, there are infinite doors. You can always find new doors everywhere. There's doors and there's new doors made every day, but you can't keep finding doors. You have to choose one to go through and then see what other doors are behind that, so that is like that 10,000 hour rule, or the 1% better each day. It's making intentional decisions every day and doing something, and to be honest, like the 1% better that came from Atomic Habits by James Clear. That's where I learned it. That used to really overwhelm me, because I all I read was 1% better each day, but I didn't get it, because it's 1% better each day at one thing. And I'm like, that I can do. I'm not going to become a 1% better human every day, but one thing I do can be 1% better, and that can be like, I actually get up 20 minutes earlier and do the exercise that I'm always like, I should do that, but I don't have time. Well, because I decided I don't have time. So I think there's a lot of places where we can have our networks come in and join this conversation, in just letting creativity lead. So those are my final thoughts. I want to pass the mic to you, Brian, and then Donna, if you want to have the last words. I think we can round out this episode.
All right.
When you mentioned the doors, Dan, I just started reading The Third Door by Alex Banyanyan. It's basically a book about a college student with a dream of interviewing these 12 celebrities. And he was at the point of, how am I going to do this? And he kind of just started one at a time and started figuring out that there was a system to access. It wasn't waiting in line for years, or it wasn't being inherited into this big family. It was making those connections to lead to a Bill Gates. So he talks about that too, of finding the door that's most creative in a way.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, my final thoughts are this. One is I love the teacher feature because I think that's great. And I love inviting other people in because that's what I do. And so I love the idea of having, people come in and teach whatever they want, anything that's creative in any way. We can always learn a new skill. It's always fun. It's always great to meet new people, get new perspectives. And so, like Dan said, if you are watching this and you're like, hey, I know how to do origami and I'd love to share that with someone. And so go ahead, put it in the chat. We'll reach out to you and we'd love to have you on the show. And I think that we proved today that, in order to be creative, you have to be a bit of a risk taker, right? We had no idea what the slides were, or at least I didn't. And so just, teaching students to be able to take risks, risks that are in the classroom and in the creative realm, and being able to say like, okay, I'm going to try that. What's the worst that happens? It doesn't work. Okay, well, then I'll try something else. And so I think just giving, teachers ideas and from learning from other people and being able to give them the freedom to, exercise that piece of creativity. It doesn't have to be a 40-minute lesson. It could be a little 5 or 10-minute warm up. This little slide thing could be something that's just a little 5-minute warm up every day, something like that. And so, yeah, I love it. I think it's going to be a great school year. And I think this is a great way to kick off Let's Create.
Awesome. All right. Until next week.
All right. Until next week. We'll see you guys.